Follow-up question to that. Will you be living the farm life? Because I know you mentioned that
Oh
here, that you
God.
want people to have those skills. And you mentioned a friend that has it and you have no
Oh my
survival skills. And
gosh.
in a zombie
Okay.
apocalypse, you and Jeremy probably wouldn't be the best right now, but living on a farm, that's the way to do it. Self-sufficiency.
I have to bring this up, Casper, because your social media, when you went to Alaska,
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, I would have lasted 4 minutes. I always say, if in is it Survivor or Naked and Afraid? I think it's Naked and Afraid where they take them out on that little boat.
Yep.
I think I'd like dip one toe off the boat and then I'd be like, oh, I don't think I can do that. I would last maybe 5 seconds. I write about this too. Because I have this master's from Columbia and I followed this very academic path my whole life. And, yesterday we had a dishwasher installed in our kitchen. And I looked at these people with complete and utter fascination. I was like, wow, I can have these elaborate discussions about liberal arts. But when it really comes to having to do something, like my dishwasher is broken, my sink won't work, I need to build a bench for my kid, or I can't do any of that. And I feel like these skill sets are so empowering. I mean, I watched that scene from The Notebook. I don't know if you know that movie. I love that movie, but I'm a romantic. But I watch and he builds that house for her from the ground up. And I'm like, those are skills that I would trade that for my AP calculus any day of the week. So I wrote that, I want my kid to be able to do something, produce something, build something, sew something. I don't care what it is. There's such a sense of reward that comes from that. And I have a friend who lives out in Texas. He homeschools his little girl. He operates this farm. She did the electrical wiring in his house. I'm like, come on, man, like electrical wiring. I'm lucky I could screw in a light bulb properly in a Manhattan apartment, and part of that is from being spoiled, living in Manhattan for all those years. The super comes and does it, but it's on me, really. That's on me. So to answer your question, I don't know that a farm would be the next step for me, but I will be visiting lots of farms and learn. I love farms. I love the idea of being able to, your chickens produce the eggs, then you go out and you get them in the morning. And I mean, there's something about living like that that's just calming to me, or being around animals and horses and nature. And so I would love that. Actually, someone came to me about a show once that was like, we need to place you in one of these places and just let the camera roll. And
I would
like,
watch that.
I was like, is cursing allowed? Or, because it would be I really, truly. But I want to raise my kid to be better at these things than I was. And even my husband, we're city, two little city brats in that sense. And I always tell him, he's like, we need to learn. And we're going to, and we're doing better. Like I can even change my car tire. I know it's a big deal. You're like, Jed, I could do that. That's fine. It's fine. But for me, I didn't have a car in the city for most of my life. I didn't need to know how to do that. So I'm learning. And I think that's the important thing. But yeah, I would love, if my kid could build something like a bench keep saying a bench because we need one, or a dresser, or, oh man, bring me that instead of your, the classes I took that didn't produce much for me.
I get, and listen, I was reading the book and I was so in line with that portion of it. We spend most of the days inside now and not outside, and not building things, not really creating things, consuming mostly, right? We watch Netflix, we binge it for hours and hours and hours indoors and kind of turn our minds off in a sense. And we're not creating anything. We're not outside, and being outside and creating things are not just empowering, they're healthy. They provide us purpose, passion, all these things that I see as some of the biggest kind of challenges for people who have disease is to find that purpose and that passion. So